first of all, thank you very much for taking the time to talk with us. And could you introduce yourself for the people who don't know you?
Yeah, hello everyone. Bonjour. My name is Ben Spoont. I'm the co-founder and CEO of both Misfits Gaming and Florida Mayhem.
And what is your role within Misfits? How long have you been in charge?
So I've been in charge since I founded it about 2.5 years ago. And within Misfits, I oversee all of the gaming operations and content operations, the entire company, basically. Everything that happens within Misfits is within my purview.
We could say that Misfits branding is really clear, like cool kids, maybe, I don't know, the anime villains in a way. I mean, the branding is really clear. So what would you say is the idea behind the rabbit and everything in Misfits?
So there's not a great story behind the actual logo. Basically, when we entered League of Legends, first with the European Challenger Series team, a couple of the things that we did, first thing we did actually was acquire Hans Sama from then Millennium, I believe, and Hans came in as our AD carry, taking over from actually another French player, Yuki. But one of the things that we did when we started the team was we acquired the branding, which is the bunny, which is now a little bit different, a little bit tweaked. Not sure how much can be seen on the video there. But our logo and branding came with part of the acquisition that we made to enter the league. In terms of how we view ourselves, I don't think we're the I don't know about the cool kids. We'll leave that to Fnatic. But for us, I think we tried to think that we're a little bit different, that we're very inclusive with our brand and our fans and our community, and also just being bold, kind of like a little bit of Deadpool, if we want to compare it to like a superhero, where we like to have fun at ourselves, at the expense of ourselves, but really keeping everyone humble, honest, and having a good time.
Right, so you chose to apply to the LEC. Misfits have been in the LCS for a while now. The team is well known, has been performing really well. What was the idea behind applying to the LEC? Why did you guys do it?
Well, like you mentioned, we had been in what was then the EU LCS for a couple of years. League of Legends was the foundation of the company that I started. It was the first game we went into. We've since expanded into things like the Overwatch League and Fortnite and Clash Royale and a bunch of other stuff that really still League of Legends is the anchor of what we do. And we've been heavily involved in the European community with a big infrastructure within Europe. We have a huge team in Berlin, and we have for quite some time. So applying to the LEC made perfect sense for us. We loved what Riot put together in terms of what the relationship is between the teams, the players, and Riot. Historically, it's been a little bit of a Chinese wall, but now that the new structure, which has been announced and discussed by a lot of different folks and Riot themselves, it really is attractive to us, and we view that the community within Europe is significantly larger than most other regions, and also the player base is much larger there as well.
Perfect. Now talking a bit more about the lineup you guys built, because you've been active in the off-season, let's say. It's even when it
putting it nicely, sure.
Yeah, the staff around the team, I mean the players we imported, even taking SOAS. What was the idea behind the team you guys built, and what are the expectations around it?
I'll start with the last one. Expectations for us are for Spring Split to just really gel as a team. I think that for a lot of times when you think about, quote, super teams and people think that they have, great expectations and everything happens immediately. That's not true. There's plenty of examples from both esports and traditional sports where, a lot of great hype names that come together sometimes take time to gel. But when it does, those expectations are to be met. So for us, our expectations Spring Split are just to play as a team, learn to become a team. You have significant changeover in each of the lanes, excluding jungle. But even with a new support player like Gorilla, who comes in, that changes the whole dynamic of the bot lane for Hans Sama. Bringing in SOAS, SOAS is such a legend, not just within the French community, of course, but within the world. I think he's probably the most decorated Western player in history. So bringing in Soaz was, a great fit for us. Bringing in Febby from Clutch, acquiring him, bringing him back home from North America was also a big deal for us. We feel that Febby, is a great player that everyone remembers him in Europe, and we're excited for him to showcase that. But it's not just, the players, and obviously Gorilla's a big acquisition, but a lot of changes on our staff and our infrastructure. And someone is, Hutchinson, who's very well known and popular within not just the French community, but the League community and the StarCraft community. She'll be a great asset for our team. But new head coach, and we've got a lot of different changes going on, so we're excited to get going next week.
One thing you mentioned is the fact that you build a super team and that it can take some time, but the LEC is built on the fact that it's a long-term partnership between the teams and Riot. So what is your view on that? What is the view on this new system and long-term partnership that Riot tried to build?
Yeah, so I think that it was a really necessary change. A lot of people I know in Europe, franchising is a sensitive subject, and they're very protective about promotion and relegation. But the reality is, right now, as we are in 2019 and we're operating over the past couple of years, it hasn't been, without seeing the future of League of Legends and how teams and Riot and what that dynamic is, and not just teams, by the way, it's also players, because one of the biggest things that Riot's done in Europe is the players have a percentage of revenues. So you're protecting players, we're protecting teams, and Riot is extending that arm to us because they didn't have to do it, right? Like, they could have kept all of the LRP and the league revenue pool to themselves, but I think that would not promote growth within the ecosystem, because teams have been investing heavily into that. And we've seen tremendous growth. Riot's seen tremendous growth. Player salaries have grown significantly over the past couple of years. And now there's really like a basis for it, right? So putting this together, this league revenue pool now provides, a strong foundation for everyone moving forward.
Awesome. And last question for the French audience, maybe, because we know we've been following you guys for such a long time because you had Hansama, now you have Soaz to complete the team. So why should we all follow Misfits next year? This year.
Yeah, this year. Well, you mentioned two big reasons, Hansama and Soaz. One of my best memories was the French crowd in Paris singing "Happy Birthday" to Hansama when we were playing there against G2 in the summer finals back in 2017. That was an awesome time, awesome memory. I love the French crowd. I love the French passion and enthusiasm in the audience. And we have a couple more surprises for the French scene coming up in the next couple weeks. But yeah, between Soaz, Hansama, Hutchinson, the French community has a lot of things to be excited about for Misfits coming forward.
And we'll be following that closely. Is there any last words you would like to say to the French audience?
No. Really appreciative of everyone's support. We will see you in France, in Paris. We'll be doing some really cool activations pretty soon with both Hansama and Soaz and Hutchinson. So folks can meet and greet and get to know them a little bit better up close.
Thank you very much, Ben. We're done here.